Okay, I believe we're live. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Zach F1 channel. And the race, of course, finished 4-ish hours ago. And the points have been updated. Now, looking first ahead, I obviously didn't Limitless. Limitless worked out perfectly for anyone who did do it, so well done to everyone who did. I'm extremely happy points-wise with how the no negative affected my team, because it basically meant Hulkenberg, where he had that horrible sprint, didn't happen. Bottas and Tsunoda's crashes didn't happen. I'm a bit salty about the Tsunoda one because it was quite early in the morning, so I wasn't the happiest waking up that early. And then obviously Magnussen's the one who crashed out Tsunoda, and Magnussen goes and gets like 20 odd points. Oh. Maybe they should deduct points for penalties. But then Sargent would have got one anyway. Right, I need to get up the stream, actually. On the other screen. So I can see what everyone's saying. But yeah, overall, it was a decent weekend. I'm happy with how it went. Quickly, before I get onto here. Hey, ATL. How you doing, man? Let me get that there. Yeah, okay, that should be fine now. So, I mean, for now, don't worry about the 0.9. I did score 359. For anyone who wants to know what the Limitless team would have got you if you weren't using Limitless, this is the team I was telling people to use. Most people would have used this one if they used Limitless. And it's about 100 points difference between my team compared to the Limitless team. But I'm okay with that, because the whole plan was to go into this race being fine, using no negative just in case. Thank God I did. And then go over to Limitless next weekend and then carry on like normal. So next weekend, anyone who's going Limitless for Miami will gain all the points back. So I'm not worried about that. You can see just like... let's have a look at... You can see just how bad it would have been for me, though. Hey, Barack Obama. Barack Obama, good to see you, man. If I didn't have no negative on, it would have looked something like this. Sargent, Hulkenberg, yeah, DRS Verstappen. 308 points. So the no negative was very good to use. 51 points saved. Couldn't have asked for much more. Of course, my pricing did take a bit of a hit this week, but I got very unlucky. Yeah, biblical. It was very much the shout. Yeah, I'm telling you, everyone who know negative this weekend, it was a good shout from all of us, because oh my God, it could have been bad without it. Yeah, wait, biblical. What was your full team again? And Ricciardo, Tsunoda and Hulkenberg with no negative. Yeah, that's perfect, because Hulkenberg didn't actually crash out, but his sprint race was terrible, so we don't get those minus points. And yeah, of course, Tsunoda and Ricciardo both crashed out. Hey, Bongani, how you doing, man? I'm quite happy with my team. I've showed, where did I put it? The Limitless team that most people would have gone for is over here. And then the team I was using over here. I should probably get rid of these other teams, because I don't need to show what's going on with them. So those are the main two teams. Oh, no way, Barack. No way you've done that. No. How many points would that have been deducted? Oh, that's 60, 30. So 60 times 2, 120. That's 60 points. Ah. Yeah, eesh. I feel for you, Barack. I feel for you. Yeah, honestly, yeah. After that decision, you might be getting impeached, my dude. 357 with a minus 10 transfer. Yeah, that's very good. Matthias, what was your whole team again? With no... Oh, right, yeah, with no negative. Eesh, yeah. That was the issue. I mean, but the only good thing we can take away from this is, yes, yes, our price differentials compared to everyone else wasn't that good. But basically, anyone who had Magnussen did really well this weekend. But the price movements weren't too crazy. Like, if we saw teams getting like 2 to 3 million, bad. But yeah, only dropping like $1 million to everyone else is okay. Max, Red Bull, Ferrari, Bottas, Hulkenberg. Yeah, the double Haas worked out perfectly for you, my dude. Yeah, well done. I kind of wish I went Magnussen, but there was no reason for me to, so I didn't really think that I needed to. And like I said really early on, if anyone saw it, I'm a bit salty with how Magnussen got so many points, considering he's the reason Tsunoda actually crashed out. I mean, I really, it annoyed me. Hey Juan, how you doing? Yeah, so I think initial thoughts, Limitless, there's no changes. So this is what I'm going to probably be doing next weekend, which would probably be Limitless. Okay, let's not do it on that team just in case. Limitless and the same teams everyone else has run, unless there's like a huge difference going into next weekend and potentially Alonso, but it's still very much looking like the Limitless like this is the best team like this weekend. Went with Limitless with Loris, went perfectly, except only 0.1 million budget increase. Yeah, Ash, you're in the same boat as me. We did good points wise. Oh, right, yeah, Quebec. Sorry, yeah, I actually answered your question without even looking at it. Yeah, no problem, Natalie. I know, it was a masterclass. Like, obviously, points-wise, it's annoying. And seeing everyone else catch up on the Limitless it can feel a bit frustrating. Like, I've still gone up to top 1,300 in the world, but everyone with Limitless basically is pushed up. But don't fret, because obviously we're going to catch right back up. Yeah, exactly. With the many overtakes, it did help teams now, but I do feel like Miami's not going to be as many overtakes as here. But still 400 plus points inbound next weekend, and we can just hope. Yeah, next week McLaren's as well. Maybe Piastri's an option as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Realistically, next weekend with the Limitless, we'd want like another Ferrari or McLaren driver of the day. Basically, funnily enough, yeah, that's good, Matthias. 1.7 is really good in an increased budget this weekend. But yeah, I think because basically for the Limitless, you want to be beating the Verstappen teams. So you want Verstappen to do well because you're times twosing him as well. But it actually works out better for you if Verstappen does well, does the times 2, all good. But then like Leclerc gets fastest lap and Norris gets driver of the day. Sort of similar to what we saw here, but you'd want instead of Alonso getting it. Can we also just say Alonso 5 points without driver of the day? I meant fastest lap, my bad. Of course, he didn't actually finish the sprint race, so that's why. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Because obviously Hamilton, can we agree as well? Like, why'd they have to take out, I had Perez, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Hulken, Sargent, Red Bull, Ferrari. This race just, it went okay. But yeah, so basically Tsunoda was the only real issue with your team. Hulkenberg, like, not many points, but at least no negative points. And then anyone from Stroll upwards, I'm still fuming about Stroll going up in points as well. I know it's because he's in that lower than 15 million range. But how? Magnussen with 17 points only went up 0.5. And Stroll with 9 million also went up 0.5. We know how it works now. But Magnussen should have gone up 1 million. Stroll shouldn't have moved at all. Last weekend had both Haas and constructors, among others. I got... What? 3.2 million budget increase. Oh, whoa, where'd you go? Oh my god. But you know what? Fair play. That is brilliant. 3.2. You can definitely afford the Verstappen teams now, can't you, I think? But yeah, Alpine getting 28 points, by the way. Can't be understated. That is amazing. Alpine upgrade sort of working. Just because nothing will have changed bar McLaren getting upgrades going into Miami, And if we have a look at the Miami results from a few years ago, nothing in Miami really... Miami's not that interesting of a race. I mean, the last actual incident I could remember is Sonoda and Lando. But even with that, Lando just didn't move out of the way in the straight. Hey, yeah, Juan, you've got the same amount of price as me. Yeah, no, so I will be making a video this week as well, because every other F1 Fantasy content creator has already made one about how the prices change. So don't worry, I'll go over why. But basically, there's a threshold. Where's the average points? So you've got like your race results, I believe it's in. So you've got your points. You've got your low drivers. Low drivers 0 to 15 million, 15 million to 25 million, 25 to 25 and up. And basically it works off the average. So the average points here was 17 points. And this is what I was talking about how there won't be any 1 million price increases in sprint race weekends because the threshold's so much. Yeah, they get more points, but the threshold's just too much. Yeah. Currently 2K. Yeah, Matthias, we're doing very good. Yeah, of course I'm watching United games, Sean. Isn't it on in an hour? Let me just double check that. Just to watch United lose the commentary. Praying Miami Limitless says, hey, Michael. Good to see you, man. Yeah. I don't know what exactly you're furious with, K-Bag, but if you're furious with the same things, where he took out Yuki, and I think they should start bringing in deduction of points for penalties. He ruined Yuki's race and then goes and gets 17 points. But yeah, no. Realistically, that was the perfect Limitless. So I doubt we'll overtake anyone. Those points wise, 400 plus those what I'm expecting from Miami, because with this sort of team you're still going to get the same thing. It was so frustrating. I mean, fair play, but will Miami be better than Austria Limitless wise? How is the overtakes on both? Yeah, so we could wait till then. Yeah, I was gonna get up the results first. So how long do we have to wait till Austria? Austria we have to wait a while, but that's fine. Yeah, this is my Logitech one, Sean. My one for streaming, but I use the videos for it now anyway. Any clue what's gonna happen with all the Limitless teams in the Joe League? No idea. Honestly, this is why you don't do one race mini leagues. I mean, what were they thinking? The first sprint race of the season, everyone's going to be half the people are going to be limitlessing. What did they expect? But yeah, no, right, sorry. Let me get on to the results. So in 2023, you can't see how many overtakes there were, but there's no DNFs, nothing to really worry about. 2022, there were a few DNFs. Yes, but remember, that was Mick Schumacher crashing into Vettel, but I actually don't think they crashed out, they didn't go out, DNF'd. Joe was just a DNF. Norris, he was just being an idiot. He crashed into someone on a straight. Pierre Gasly, just a DNF. So there's not actually that many crashes, so it's quite a safe track to do it on. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's not 100% doing Limitless yet because we have the whole season to think of doing Limitless. And considering, yeah, I am sort of stuck in the boat now with the Verstappen. 162 million for Miami. Then you still can't afford the... Can you afford the Verstappen team? With 106.2? You might be because of how many minus points people took. My bad, team calculator. Can you show your team in Miami and what you suggest? Yeah, I'll show that in a second. Let me just get up what their thinking is going to be. What? Oh, right, yeah, I was going to say, hang on, what? Yeah, so you can't afford the... I believe you can't. Let's see what it does when I get rid of Aston and VCarb. I believe you can't afford the Verstappen team yet. 110.3 to Miami is insane, by the way, Matthias. I'm pretty sure you can probably drop down to Yuki if you had Magnussen, save a bit of points, and then upgrade to one of the Alpines instead of having Williams. Yeah, no, you'd have to go with the Red Bull, Ferrari, Perez teams. However, I don't actually agree with using Ricciardo. I think I'd rather double Haas with Tsunoda or Stroll with Haas and then Bottas and Sargent. But yeah, no, so my plan is genuinely either stick with this team because there's not much I can change around. Technically, I could do something like this. Let's say I wanted to do... no, not Ocon. Technically, I could do this. Bam. Bam. I just don't think that's any different. I think that's actually worse than the team I've got. So I'm... Yeah, well, that's the thing. It is. And especially with McLaren bringing upgrades to Miami, it could be a good shout for... you know that if you bring in Norris, he's probably going to have a good race. Driver of the day, pretty much certain. But yeah, for anyone who wants to know what my team's probably going to look like, I'm either going to be limitlessing with the Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, or Norris and Piastri, whether or not the McLaren upgrades look good, with Red Bull and Ferrari, or Red Bull and McLaren. And then if I don't limitless for any reason, I will be sticking with this team again. Or I could... Hey, Racing, how you doing? Yeah, I know it was really difficult for anyone who didn't. Yeah, and... So, we're getting to the point now where it doesn't really actually matter where you limitless. Because, funnily enough, like I thought is happening, yes, we've got two very cheap drivers in Valtteri and Sargent. However, Zhou's in the 7 millions, Albon 7.5 million, Hulkenberg, Gasly, all over 7.5 million. So to get to the point where you can bring in a team like that doesn't have a Williams and a Sauber, you'd have to be around where Matthias is on 110 minimum, and you'd need a bit more than that. And in a minute, it's going to be hard to do that. So you'd have to be careful doing that. 107.3 is now the minimum. Yeah, so exactly, this is what I'm trying to speak up on. So yes, it's all good going for the budget teams. However, no, building budget. However, it's gone up to 107.3 million now. So the more you wait, the more expensive everything's going to be. So yes, you're building budget, but everything's getting more expensive anyways. Yes, Sargent and Bottas, different to that. But you need at least 3 drivers below 6 million to be able to not worry. But yeah, so it's difficult to think about these things. I ran Ricciardo and Tsunoda this weekend, but I'd use no negative in Saudi. Oh, God. Yeah, and then something like this could happen. So not to use you as an example, Racing, but I want to show your team without the... on the live scoring. This is exactly what could happen as well. So, and Racing, I don't think you... Were you going for the... You just had to because you couldn't afford it, right? But this is what can happen also with the budget teams. So I think stick with the Verstappen teams and you'll be fine. Because the Verstappen teams can only really vary 10 to 20 points if no one DNFs. And for me, you're making more points than that by going Verstappen early. So that's why. So yeah, that's fair enough, Racing. But yeah, so that still will work out for you because you're limitless in Miami, and hopefully the budget building will work out better. Is Gasly an option? Sort of. However, no, because he's 7.8 million now. So I genuinely do think at that price, Hulkenberg's a better option. And then you only got up to 8.4 million, 0.6 million more. And then you got the likes of Tsunoda. So I think there's just better drivers there who you could pick. But I think Gasly versus Albon, Gasly's still a better shout. Yeah, sorry. So let me... Ricciardo, Tsunoda. What was the rest of your team, Racing? I'm assuming it was Perez. And then with Ricciardo and Tsunoda, I don't know. It's probably not this, but let's say you had Stroll and Sargent, just to be, just to like show the team. Yeah, so 282, and it's not that much of an increase in double Haas. Okay, yeah. Red Bull, Ferrari, Perez, bam, 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 bam. With Perez, yeah, bam. Yeah, so 286. See, that's the issue we can have trying to budget build. So just be careful if you're trying to budget build, because the Verstappen team's getting more and more expensive the longer everyone waits. And I think it's just, you just got to hop on it and just hope for the best. Like now that I'm on it, I just let it do what it does. And I hope for the best. Of course, it didn't work out really this weekend. We missed out kind of big to people who use Limitless. Yeah, Duke, so it was a good Limitless weekend. But there's nothing saying it can't happen again in Miami. There's nothing saying it won't happen in Austria. Limitless in general, unless there's a DNF, you're going to be scoring more than 400 points. So it could be like 20, 30 points lost, but I doubt it's any more than that. Building budget is a myth. These best teams will usually rise the most. Exactly. Cormac, that's what I'm trying to stress the most, because building budget was something people discussed when no one could afford Verstappen. Now that people can afford a Verstappen team, it's just getting more and more expensive, and people are missing out. Yeah, exactly, Nixie. That's what I'm talking about when I say how. I've lost the chat. That's why. So wait, sorry. Do you get any profit from Limitless weekends? No, you get the changes from your team. So technically, there'll be some people who Limitless had a great weekend, but probably still only got like a price rise of 0.01 million like me. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's because Stroll is in the less than 15 million range, so getting more than 9 points was good enough, which I think is ridiculous. I think F1 Fantasy should have more price ranges than just low drivers, middle drivers, expensive drivers, because it's so much more complex than that. Yeah, exactly, Michael. It's 100% right. Like, even this weekend, I actually thought, because of how bad my drop teams were, I was like, oh, maybe it didn't go up. Never mind, it's gone up like 1 million to get to Verstappen. And even, like, let's just have a look at all of the points scored overall. Because we still have this issue where, yes, we don't really... Williams and Sauber technically is a little bit worse. But what's saying having Ricciardo's any better? He's been doing just as bad. What's saying... Like, you know what I mean? Like, we look at all of these drivers here. Magnussen could have a terrible weekend next weekend. So I just think it... Yeah, no, so my budget is now 108.8 million, I think, because I got a 0.01 increase. Is it worth it to go for Max, Gasly, Bottas, Logan, Nico? Yeah, see, so Augustas, I would go with that... Oh, okay, actually, no. Yeah. Limitless in Miami, then go over to Verstappen. Yeah, 100%. Because then you could try to get the budgets, hopefully, and obviously not have to risk getting any less points. I'm low on budget with Sainz, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Show, Albon, Ferrari. Do I need to use Limitless next race or stick with the same team? So for you, it's a little bit difficult, because the reason people are Limitlessing is to get budget in to bring in the Verstappen teams. However, because your budget's a bit lower and you can't afford the Verstappen team, meaning if you Limitless, you could probably wait, but there's no real point to waiting unless you just think tracks like Austria or any sprint races down the line have a better chance for overtakes and getting more points. I can go with Verstappen, but I'd have to take -20. Whoa, yeah, Barack. Don't take that -20. Just be individual. So if you've got 2 free transfers, yeah, get your drivers down to a Sargent and a Bottas or someone like that for one weekend. Then you can swap over to Verstappen the other weekend. You take it on the chin, but you'll be getting more points overall. Verteam with the right 4 budget drivers still gets you 2 points. Yeah, exactly, Andy, exactly. Like, I'll show you last weekend. I don't know if I can show it properly. So obviously this weekend it didn't work out because Sargent, Tsunoda and Bottas both didn't finish. Luckily, no negatives. But in Japan, I got the most points, and I got a 2.8 million increase. So I actually beat the budget buildings in value increase and got more points. So yeah, unless Perez signs a Leclerc, get a 1 million increase, which we thought could happen more. Yeah, not Duke. There was only a few people who got very good price increases this weekend. No, I wouldn't take any minus to get to a Verstappen Perez team, because a Verstappen Perez team, you're around 10 to 20 points difference anyway. And I get why you could. And it's not the end of the world if you did minus 10. But I just think if you just waited, got free transfers, you can then do it the next weekend with free transfers. With 106.9 million is my plan at Limitless in Miami with underlying increases. Yep, 2 million. And then Perez, Leclerc and Sainz with the upgrades in Imola. Then Verstappen with decent cheap drivers from Monaco. Yeah, fair enough, Racing. You've got a good plan there. However, will Monaco be too late? Will the price increases have been insane? Yeah, exactly. He scored the exact cutoff. But I really think that it should be cheap drivers, 6 million, 5 million to 10 million. Then you're like low cheap drivers, 10 million to 15. 15 to... And then 15 to 25 is fine. But they could do it. They could do it in just 5 million increments. If they wanted to. Because it's not that difficult to do. And it would make more sense. Because Stroll 9 points isn't negative. But it's not a movement. No way should that be a 0.5 million increase. Juan, I already have Max perfect. Then you're set to go, my dude. You already have Max. Oh, so you'd bring in like the Ferrari, I'm assuming. Hulk, Joe, Bottas, Albon, Ferrari. Yeah, honestly, Juan, that's a good team. And that's a good team you could settle on for a long time coming. So I would... It's minus 10, but I think it could be worth it. I think it could be. I mean, to the Max Rebel Ferrari team and the cheap shitters, I've got Leclerc team now. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's annoying having to take the minus 10, but I would say for that situation, yes, because of how many points Verstappen gets over everyone else. I'm fuming. He didn't get the fastest lap points because I was looking juicy, wasn't it? Yeah, no problem, man. 15 to 25 is harsh on Fernando. Yeah, do you see what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. It should be 5 million increments because, yeah, Alonso is doing bits in his car. And, I mean, he's not even that good points-wise anyway. But that's just because... But how Alonso should have his own, like, bit below, because there's no way Alonso and the likes of Piastri, technically, I guess, should be in the same bracket as Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, technically even Norris. Max should have got the fastest. Max should have got the fastest pit stop. 20 points is a lot now. Yeah, I think it's. I hate having to take a minus in fantasy games. But let's have a look. So, what was the best possible outcome with a Perez team versus the worst outcome for a Verstappen team? Because that's the sort of thing. So Red Bull, Verstappen, let's say you had Bottas, Sargent, Hulkenberg, but that basically had my team. Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Bottas, and who else could you afford on that thing? And then you could probably afford a Tsunoda, yeah. And then that would have got you a T. Oh, yeah, my bad. That would have still got you 308 points. Yeah, 100% agree. I think there should be five or six tiers. So, yeah, 5 to 10 million, 10 to 15 million, 15 to 20 million, 20 to 25 million, everything above the same. So you got 308 points for the worst team you could have had without any negative. Oh, is it bad, Sean? Are we playing McTominay as centre-back? Because I heard rumours about that. And then here's the best team you could have got with Perez. So let's say you went with double Haas, double with Stroll, with Gasly and Albon. Let's say something. No, let's say this team. Yeah, go on. Something along these lines. And you're only 20 points above the worst max team. So I just don't think it's not worth it. Hulk wasn't good. Oh, yeah, my bad. Yeah, why did I put Hulkenberg? Yeah. Had a bit of a blur there. Let's just say this team. How many points did this team get? Yeah, so about 22 points more for one of the better teams of Perez compared to the worst team with Verstappen. Do you prefer Albon or Hulk? I still stand by Hulkenberg. I think he got unlucky because he would have got a lot more points if he didn't have such a bad sprint race. And he would have been fine. As you can see, Hulkenberg 11 points. It would have been fine having Hulkenberg. So I still fully agree Hulkenberg's better. No way Casemiro centre back. My bad. Better combo. K-Mag Sargent plus Sargent or Hulk and Albon. Hulkenberg and Albon for the Verstappen team. For Sargent's such an unknown. Like, yeah, like he did basically what I thought would happen this weekend. Sargent. Like I said, he was a cheap choice that wouldn't do you anything wrong. He physically couldn't do anything wrong, basically. Started at the back in the pit lane. Just stayed out of trouble. Yeah, he got a 10-second penalty. A bit rubbish, but, you know, what can you do? Oh, we're not winning this. We're actually not winning this. Yeah, racing. I actually feel so bad for your team. Like, that is peak performance from your team there. Oh god. But yeah, what haven't I talked about? So yeah, I guess actual other teams. So Limitless into Miami, I've talked about. Verstappen, Perez, both Ferraris potentially. Have 101.5 million in budget. Limitless in Miami, I have Verstappen, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Albon, Bottas. So your team is perfect. Yeah. Yes, but I'm not going to give 100% yes yet because we do need to see what these McLaren upgrades are saying. Because if the McLaren upgrades are talking very good, I mean, it just means the Limitless would be different. Yeah, I'm going to be Limitlessing, though, in Miami. Especially if anyone's been doing the budget teams, Limitless, then bring over to Verstappen. And basically, it's just to cover up the China teams. So that's why I'll be Limitlessing. But yes, sorry, Cesar, my bad. I used no negative and Bottas and Hulk. Was it worth it? 100%. -6 saved. Bottas DNF. Yeah, that's the only issue. If someone crashes out in the top 5, we're finished. But these are the sort of things you can't actually contest for. And we've already spoken about how China was the unknown, and it was actually unknown. It was just with the lower drivers that most of the crashes were happening. And Miami's a bit of a safer option. Less crashes. Yes, less overtakes. That's why it's the safer option, but a more guaranteed point system. But yeah, my bad. Let me get to your team. Verstappen. Oh yeah, so your team is fine. Yes, you should probably. Yeah, and you should probably Limitless in Miami, 100%. But okay, so let's start off with the lower costing teams. So if you want, if you're still not on the Verstappen teams, Perez 100% looked like the best option. I know Norris went away with second place, and if the McLaren option and if McLaren upgrades do look good, then Norris is an option. And then what else can we build up with? Where's Strolly boy? He's a bit expensive these days, but I think it's still... Is it still worth it? Yeah, it's still worth it. No, it's not worth it. I'd probably double Haas it. And... Where is he? Pierre Gasly. I'd probably do something like this. Use Limitless already 3 times. A good option for Miami. Yeah, so Juan, if you were going to 3 times in a what's it called? In a sprint race, double Haas, double Sauber, or Sonoda, Magnussen, Bottas, Sargent. I would I would Tsunoda Magnussen with Bottas and Sargent. Yeah, Ninja, don't worry. I'll be making a video on how the price increases work. 100%. But yes, if you wanted a Norris build going into Miami, here it is. The Perez build isn't very different. It's just that, but I believe you can... No, you can't. Yeah, there's such a threshold now to get to... where's Stroll? Can you bring Stroll in as well? Yeah, you can. I'd probably do something like this. For the Perez teams, Red Bull, Haas, or Ferrari, Aston. Red Bull and Haas. So yeah, Juan, that's what I wanted to say. Extra DRS is something I haven't talked about a lot, and I'll make a video about it as well in my strategy for chips. Extra DRS, the team you're going to want to bring in is Red Bull and Haas to then get Verstappen and Perez in the same team. You want to have the top 2 drivers for your top team. But for something like that to happen, you need to have free transfers ready to go. So I won't be using extra DRS yet, I don't think. But when it comes round to it, what my plan will be is to do this and this. Haas are a little bit more expensive now, and okay, I'd probably have to do one more transfer the weekend before. Yeah, I know, it's a shame. I thought, go away. I thought he did deserve it, but you know, what can you do? Fantasy Tools was saying K-Mag gonna get 30 points at one time. Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened with his overtake points, because that's what was happening. Yeah, because his overtakes went down to 9. At one point, they thought he had, how many did they think he had? Like 17 overtakes, nearly 20 overtakes. It was mental. But yeah, no, right. Let me talk about the teams, because then I will have to go in about, yeah, 21 overtakes is like, is a joke. I was really thinking in my head, I was like, where the hell are these overtakes coming from? Oh god. But yeah, so that's the sort of team you want to be working around to get to the extra DRS. If you're using Limitless next weekend, it could very easily be McLaren instead. But for now, it's exactly the same. But it could look like that instead of Red Bull and Ferrari if the McLaren upgrades look good. Which of course, next weekend, that's one other thing I'll do before I end the stream. So that's, again, the good Limitless. The Verstappen team, if you come over here. Verstappen team, if you can afford anything better, then I would get rid of Bottas or Sargent and try to get in Zhou or Albon. I can now swap out K-Mag for Yuki. Yeah, exactly. You swap them out. You get Yuki, who's good on points. He just got unlucky this weekend, getting crashed into. What do I do with this mess? 103.5 million. You go for the Red Bull, Ferrari, Perez team, and you bring in double Haas, and yeah, then you bring in Bottas and Sargent, and then if you can afford it, Tsunoda. That makes a little sense. So if you believe McLaren is going to be a better constructor, wouldn't you? Yeah, no. I know. I was just putting it there to show what could happen, but I should have put Ferrari there instead. My bad. But Limitless, very much. If we look at the 13 days, let's have a look at the schedule, because this is the main thing. 13 days, 2 hours to the deadline. Where is the deadline? My time. Sprint qualifying, 3rd of May. I need to... yeah, it is a tricky one. Yeah, hang on. I need to figure out... I'm getting my calendar up. Let's do the maths. 13 days and an hour. No, and 2 hours. Yeah, so again, next weekend in Miami, we have the sprint qualifying where they're not... it goes past the sprint qualifying. So again, the deadlines for the sprint race. So, Limitless, next weekend... yeah, that's mental. Dude, that is literally mental. What the hell? When Stroll... yeah, true. 371 top 21. Hey, Stecky, good shit, my dude. Congratulations. Yeah, great weekend for you then. But yeah, so that's the other thing we got to think about. My Limitless in Miami. I mean, this is also another reason why you could Limitless in Miami, because they might patch. Like, it's not technically a patch, but they might realize soon that, hang on, a team deadline after they've seen sprint qualifying, that's pretty wank. But in Miami, it's doing the same thing. So if McLaren look good, we bring in double McLaren constructors with double Red Bull and Leclerc. If Ferrari still look better than McLaren, then we stick with what we had in China. And then, yeah, so Verstappen teams, try to get rid of Bottas and Sargent if you can. For Albon and Zhou, that's what you're sort of really looking to get up to. Perez is still better than Leclerc and Sainz. However, Perez and Norris now is a very good topic of discussion, which I'll talk about in my next video. But briefly on it, if the upgrades work, probably Norris. And I think that's about it for now. Like, that we can talk about for now. Just remember, team deadlines after sprint qualifying, before the sprint race. So limitlessing still is not an issue. Will they change it? Potentially. So that's why we're going to want a limitless early. Red Bull, Ferrari, Verstappen teams, still very much the meta. You want to be switching over to them as soon as possible. Budget building sort of dead in the ground for now. Yeah. And I think that is about it. Increased by 0.1, by 1 single point being 0.6. Yeah, 100%. It's something I hope they talk about and do better for next season. But we can only dream. But anyway, yeah, thank you all so much for joining me in the stream. Thank you again, Michael, for the $5. Very, very generous. And yeah, those basically are the talking points we talk about now. I'll see you all on Tuesday for another F1 video. Next Monday for an F1 fantasy video. And I might make one before that as well. The strategy ones, but we'll see. Yeah, true. It'd be a bit rubbish if that happened for me though. Limitlessing now. But anyway, yeah, thank you all so much for watching the stream. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Have a good next week. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Bye everyone. Bye-bye. Yeah, see you, Natalie. See you, Ash.